The new COVID variant, XBB 1.5, taking the country by storm. I have all the details and what the experts are now saying right here in the video, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, full disclaimer, I am not a doctor, I am not a scientist, and this is not medical advice in any way, shape, or form, but rather I am here to educate and to inform so you can make the best decision on your own personal situation. Also, I do completely understand this is a relatively controversial topic. Again, I'm not here taking sides any way, shape, or form, but rather I just want to inform you of what the experts are now saying so we can all be prepared, and again, you can make the best decisions on your own personal situation. All right, so let's get into it and talk about this new variant coming across the country, what the experts are saying about this, and the details that you want to know as I've been finding all of this with my daily research and what they're saying about this. All right, so now this is a new variant. Yet again, there's been a ton of these so far. Honestly, I have no idea how many variants are even out there anymore. It seems like every time you turn around, there's another one. Well, this is the newest one across the country right now. In the United States, it is XBB 1.5 is what they're calling it. Also, by the way, if you've been seeing my videos here over the last couple weeks, I've been coming out talking about the massive surges of COVID cases in China. In fact, in the first 20 days alone in China, they reported 248 million COVID cases and 37 million COVID cases in just one day alone in China. Well, it's craziness over there, right? Well, like I've been saying here in the United States, we've also been seeing COVID cases ticking up quite a bit here over the last couple months. In fact, we've seen cases more than double just in the last few months. We were averaging around 35,000 cases a day, and now we are well over 70,000 cases a day here in the United States, which again is also a far cry from the peaks that we've seen here in the country, well over 1 million cases. Now again, this is just what's being reported. What about all the cases that are being detected at home with home test kits and things like this that are not actually being reported? Well, obviously, I don't know that number, but I'm not sure if anybody really knows that number, but these are just the reported cases. Either way, I want to give you the details of what the experts are saying about this XBB 1.5 and what they're now saying about it. First off, they're saying this is the most transmissible variant that we've seen so far. And which, by the way, when I say transmissible, I literally mean the most contagious, the easily spreadable. That's basically what they mean by transmissible. In other words, it can be caught very, very easily. It seems like they say this literally every single time that a new variant comes out. Just saying, it seems like they always say this. This is the most transmissible one yet. Well, maybe it really is. Again, I don't really understand that stuff. All that I know is on a very basic level. Okay, apparently we can get it pretty easily. I guess that's what they're telling us, okay? So again, I'm by no means a doctor at all. So again, I want to make that very, very clear. However, I do come across a lot of information on a daily basis as I do my research. And this is something that I thought, we should probably talk about it because, a lot of this that has started over the last couple of years here was all started because of COVID back in the day, back in early 2020. So we probably want to pay attention to this stuff, right? At least kind of keep an eye on it either way. All right, so here's what else they said. In the month of December alone, this new variant, this XBB 1.5, accounted for about 1% of cases as of early December. By December 31st, 2022, so just not that long ago, right? Just a week or two ago, this new variant accounted for 40% of cases. So it went from 1% of cases at the beginning of December to 40% of cases by the end of December. Okay, so just saying yet again, right? So that's what we want to pay attention to. Now, they've also suggested as well that roughly 80% of the population here in the United States, in the country, has already contracted COVID at some point over the last couple of years. Again, that's a very high percentage to me. I did not realize it was 80%. However, they said of the 20% of people that have dodged COVID so far, well, look out, because they said there's a high likelihood that the other 20% could be getting this new variant, and they also suggested that the 80% will likely become reinfected. Again, this is just what they're saying, okay? This is what the experts are now saying. So these are the details that I wanted to bring to you just to let you know what's going on here. And again, remember, we have to watch all this stuff closely because what happened way back in early 2020, a few years ago, right? It was actually about 3 years ago, pretty much exactly when this whole thing started, right? What happened? Business closures everywhere, restrictions all over the place. We were basically told to stay at home and wear our pajamas all day and do whatever we want. I don't know. It sounded kind of fun to me, honestly. I'm not sure if you enjoyed that time, but I'm going to be real with you right now. kind of loved it. You know what I mean? It was a pretty fun time. Literally had nothing to do, and we were told to just literally stay home. I don't know. Sounded like a great time to me. It was pretty fun while it lasted. But then again, at the same time, I think all of us probably agree, yeah, it got kind of old after a little while, right? So anyway, just saying. Not saying that we're going back to those days, but at the same time, you never know, right? We never absolutely know what's going to happen here. Just like what we saw 3 years ago. You know, we had no clue that we were going to be told to stay home and don't move. Don't even stick your head out the door, right? Remember that stuff? Like, you weren't even supposed to leave unless you were going to work or going to the grocery store or something like that. We were not even supposed to leave. And again, obviously the restrictions were very different all across the country, and different countries around the globe were having way more severe restrictions than what we were seeing here in the United States. But again, just saying, just kind of reminiscing for a second, because honestly, it was kind of a fun time, right? I think a lot of people feel like, I don't know. It was kind of a fun thing to make. Could we possibly go back to that? You know, maybe for like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. Can we maybe revisit that? It was kind of a fun reset time for all of us, right? Did anybody take their pajamas off and, put real clothes on during that time? I don't know. I don't think I did, right? Just sweatpants all day. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked a little bit, but my point is, this new variant is coming across the country right now, and this is something that they want everybody to be aware of in the United States. So, whatever that means for you, again, I'm not here to tell you what to do, never have been, never will be. It's not my style. I'm not here to micromanage, but rather I just want to inform you of what's going on here. But this is probably something that we want to pay attention to. And again, the COVID cases over in China as well are still raging at this time. Well, as I've been mentioning for a very long time now, just like we've seen for the last 3 years, it kind of seems like it makes its way around the globe, right? It seems like, things kind of happen maybe in China or maybe in the European countries, things like this. We see massive surges in these countries, and then sure enough, a couple weeks later, whoa, what do you know? Here we are in the United States, spreading all over the place. So, not saying that's going to happen. Again, I'm definitely not the expert on this stuff, but I'm just simply telling you, we've seen the trends happening time and time again over the last 3 years now. I mean, it should come as no surprise that if we see surges all across the globe in other countries, it shouldn't be any shock to us to see this happening yet again in the United States, right? So we'll have to see what happens here, but they're suggesting that this, there might be some pretty big outbreaks here in the United States. So whatever that means for you, whatever that means for your situation, but again, pay attention here, because I've seen some different locations around the country talking about more restrictions and things like that, masking yet again. Now, as far as I've understood it, there have been mask recommendations. I have not seen mask mandates yet. Not saying it's going to happen. I don't really know. I'm just simply telling you, this is just what I'm reading out there. So this is what they're saying. Now, one more quick side note, and then I'm going to let you go. And then I'm going to let you go at the end of this video, which is, if you are at all interested in ordering free COVID tests, you can do that yet again. Now, this is completely optional. It is not required, and yeah, I just want to give you these details if you're interested. So you can go on to covidtests.gov and you can order some COVID tests there. I believe it's 4 per address. I could be wrong on that. It seems like sometimes the numbers do change a little bit, but if you're interested, you can absolutely do that. Now, there is a 1-800 number as well that you can call in the event that you do not have access to the internet. But if you're watching this video, you're on the internet, so I'm guessing you probably have access to the internet. But the 1-800 number, I apologize. I have cited it in previous videos. I don't recall it at this time. I'm just being real with you. Actually, as I think about it, I think I might be able to think of it. I believe this is the number. I could be wrong with this. I'm just going to go off memory here. I talked about it maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it is 1-800-232-0233. I think that might be it. In fact, let's call it right now, really fast. I got a phone here. Let's just call it, okay? I usually don't do this, but honestly, I just want to see if I'm right. Hang on a second. All right, so let's do this. Call 1-800-232-0233.
Calling 1-800-232-0233.
All right, I typically don't do this, but let's just do it anyway. All right, I'm going to put it on speakerphone.
Thank you for calling the National COVID-19 Information Line.
Okay, I'm right. I was right. Okay, I'm just pulling it out of my memory because it was a couple weeks ago that I talked about the number, and as you could hear right there, it was an automated system, so that absolutely is the number. I was right. Okay, great. I'm kind of surprised that I remembered that number. I mentioned it in a video a couple weeks ago, and I literally just pulled it out, and apparently I remembered it for some unknown reason. Anyway, as you could hear right there, I only let it play for a couple seconds, but it's an automated system, and it talked about like it said something about like COVID hotline or something like that. Anyway, you heard the little bit of the voice there talking, but there you go. That is the number again, 1-800-232-0233 is the 1-800 number. I'm still shocked that I remembered it. Kind of funny. Anyway, feel free to call that number if you want to order some tests doing that. Otherwise, you can always go onto the website, covidtests.gov, and you can order those tests. And like I said, I believe it's like 4 per household right now. It might be more than that. It might be less. Sometimes it's 8. Sometimes it's 4. I don't know. It seems like the number changes all the time, but check that out if you're interested. Anyway, just wanted to inform you of what's going on here and what I found. But like I said, I don't talk about this all that often, but ever so often when I come across things like this, I thought, it's probably important to inform the community here about this and what's going on here. By all means, I am not a COVID channel. I simply don't sit here and talk about COVID all the time, but it's probably something that we want to pay attention to and probably keep an eye on a little bit. So anyway, I hope this one helps you out. Just to kind of keep you informed of what's going on here. Please remember, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and most importantly, go back and check out some of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. There's a lot of great content here, and I truly just want to do whatever I can to help you out. So enjoy your day. Have a good one. I hope you enjoyed this one, and have a nice day. I'll catch you again later in the next video.